tuberosity. Right, and I already told you the attachments of the ischial tuberosity. So what are the attachments? I'll again tell you. So if you see here, the lower end of the ischial tuberosity, I have given a diagram here. The diagram here, where is this? Right. So what is this one? This is the ischial tuberosity, and it is divided into upper part and lower part by a horizontal line, and the upper part is again divided by an oblique line into supralateral and inframedial. Upper lateral or inframedial, right? So in the supralateral part gives origin to a muscle, what is it called as semimembranosus, and the inframedial part gives origin to muscle, what is that called as the biceps femoris and semitendinosus. So I already shown you that the semimembranosus, the biceps femoris, and also the semitendinosus, all these muscles are the hamstring muscles, or what called as hamstring muscles, which are present on the posterior aspect of the of the thigh, posterior aspect of the thigh. And again, I told you that this lower part is divided by a vertical ridge into medial and lateral. So the lateral part gives origin to a muscle. What is this part? Hamstring part of adductor magnus. So in one word, if you want to say what are the structure muscles which are arising from the ischial tuberosity, means what you have to tell? You have to tell that the hamstring muscles are arising from the ischial tuberosity. Right? So what are these hamstring muscles? So the semimembranosus, the semitendinosus, and biceps femoris or long head of biceps femoris, and the hamstring part of adductor magnus. So where is this one? If you see this diagram, if you see this diagram, where is this diagram? Right. If you see this diagram, which is on the posterior aspect of, what is this diagram? Showing the posterior aspect of the thigh. In the posterior aspect of the thigh, you find the hamstring muscles. That is, this muscle is the biceps femoris. This muscle is the semitendinosus, semimembranosus, and if you reflect these two muscles, in between you find the adductor magnus muscle. So the adductor magnus muscle is one which is present in the hamstring part and also in the adductor part, which we will discuss later, right? So this is about what? This is about the ischial tuberosity. Then coming to the next aspect, now. So now this is, what is this one? This is the ischial tuberosity is over. Now coming to the ischium. So upper end is over, lower end, and the ischium has what? A body and the ramus. What is this one? Body and ramus. So this is the ischial tuberosity, which we have discussed just now, and the upper end is forming the acetabulum, that we have discussed. Now the body and the ramus, if you see here, the body, the ischium has which, what is this border? This border is the the obturator, what is this one? This is the obturator foramen, and this is the anterior border. What is this border? Anterior border. And what is this border? This is the dorsal border. What is this border? Dorsal border, right? So the anterior border, the dorsal border, and what is this border here? This border is the posterior border. This border is the posterior border, right? So here you can see, what did I tell you? This is the gluteal surface of the ilium. And what is this one? This is the greater sciatic notch. What is this notch? Called as greater sciatic notch, which is formed by the upper part is formed by the ilium, and the lower part is contributed by the ischium. So what is this one? You already know that this is the posterior border of ilium. The posterior border of the ilium is continuous with the posterior border of the if you are the ischium, the posterior border of ischium, right? So the posterior border of the ischium, if you can see here, the posterior border of the ischium, you can see this is the greater sciatic notch, and then here you can see what is this one called as the ischial spine. What is this called as? Ischial spine. And this ischial spine is related to a ligament. What is that ligament called as? Sacrospinous ligament. What is that ligament called as? Sacrospinous means the ligament which is extending from the sacrum to the ischial spine is called as what? Sacrospinous ligament. Sacrospinous ligament. So this ischial spine gives attachment to a muscles. What are those muscles called as? Coccygeus and levator ani muscles. So you can ask me, where is this coccygeus and levator ani muscles? If you see here, where is this one? This is the levator. So what is this one? This is if you see, this is the hip bone, and you can see these muscles. What are these muscles? These are forming the pelvic diaphragm. What are this called as? The pelvic diaphragm. So this is the levator ani muscle. This is the levator ani muscle, and here you can see this is the coccygeus muscle. So the levator ani muscle and the coccygeus muscle gets their origin or gets their attachment from the ischial spine. Right? So this is about the levator ani and the coccygeus muscles, which are forming the diaphragm. What is this one? The pelvic diaphragm. They are forming the pelvic diaphragm, right? And moreover, if you see here again, what I was describing about the ischial spine, and this ischial spine is related to three structures. What are those structures called as? Pudendal nerve. You will study later. Pudendal nerve, internal pudendal vessels, and nerve to obturator internus. So this ischial spine will be what is this one? Related to three structures. What are those three structures? The pudendal nerve, the next one is the internal pudendal vessels, and the nerve to obturator internus. So the mnemonic for this is what? Pin structures. The mnemonic for P for pudendal nerve, I for internal pudendal vessels, and N for nerve to obturator internus. Nerve to obturator internus. So what is this one? This is the ischial spine, and this ischial spine is related to this. What is this one? The pin structures. So usually what we do in the examination, we mark this in the discussion part, or not in the discussion but in the spotters part, we mark this ischial spine, identify the marked area. So the marked area will be the ischial spine, and name the structures related to the marked area. So the structures will be pudendal nerve, internal pudendal vessels, and nerve to obturator internus. So this is the ischial spine. So here in this diagram, and here this is the ischial spine here. And then what else you see here? So now you can see, now this is the greater sciatic notch, or this part is the greater sciatic notch, and from the greater sciatic notch you can see what is this one? This is the lesser sciatic notch. So this lesser sciatic notch, here the upper part of the lesser sciatic notch and the lower part of the lesser sciatic notch gives attachment to muscles. What are those muscles? Superior gemelli and inferior gemelli. So in between the superior gemelli muscle and inferior gemelli muscle, there is one, what is the structure which is passing in between? What is that muscle? That is the tendon of obturator internus. So where do you get all these things? So I have already told you, the upper margin of the greater sciatic notch gives attachment to piriformis, one muscle. And then I told you the superior gemelli muscle, which is getting attached to the upper margin of the lesser sciatic notch. And the lower margin of the lesser sciatic notch, I told you, the inferior gemelli muscle. And now I am telling you the other muscle, obturator internus. So the pelvic surface and the obturator membrane of the hip bone gives origin to a muscle. What is that muscle called as? Obturator internus. So all these muscles, where do you find? You find in the gluteal region, all these muscles, right? So again, you come across. Yesterday, I told you from the gluteal surface, the muscles which are coming. What is this one? The gluteus maximus muscle and the gluteus medius muscle and the gluteus minimus muscle. All these three muscles are arising from the gluteal region of the ilium. Gluteal region of the ilium. And now I told you what is the one? The piriformis muscle. The piriformis muscle not only gets its origin from the sacrum, but also from the upper margin of the greater sciatic notch. And then I told you what is this muscle here? This muscle is the superior gemelli muscle. What is this muscle? Superior gemelli muscle. And what is this muscle here? That is the obturator internus muscle. Obturator internus muscle. And what is this muscle here? This is the inferior gemelli muscle. Inferior gemelli muscle. Right. So all these muscles, what are this one? The superior gemelli, the piriformis, the superior gemelli, the obturator internus, and the inferior gemelli. All these muscles, which I have told you now, they are arising from where? Arising from the, not arising, or they are present where? They are present in the gluteal region. They are present in the gluteal region. Just a minute. Are you understanding the class? Are you understanding the class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, just go through it. I'll give you some time, 1 minute, and then just go through these muscles also. Right. So this is about what? This is about the, which now I am speaking about what? I am speaking about the ischium. So here, and then coming to the next aspect. So what is this one? This is, I told you about the ischial tuberosity. I told you about the ischial spine, the structures related to the ischial spine. And what is this one? The lesser sciatic notch. And about the superior gemelli, inferior gemelli, and the obturator internus, which is arising from where? Arising from the obturator membrane of, and also the pelvic surface of the so-called the hip bone. The obturator internus. Then coming to the other things, if you see here, then what is this one? This is the anterior border. And what is this one? This is the dorsal border. And this aspect is the posterior border. So it has three borders. And then you see the three surfaces. What is this surface? This is the femoral surface. What is this surface? Femoral surface. And from the femoral surface, you get the origin of which muscle? The quadratus femoris muscle. From the femoral surface of the ischium, you get the origin of the quadratus femoris. So again, I am going to tell you where is this quadratus femoris. Again in the gluteal region. So where is this one? I told you this is the gluteus maximus. Once you cut it, you find the gluteus medius, then the gluteus minimus. And what is this muscle? This is the piriformis. Then the superior gemelli muscle, the obturator internus. What is this muscle? The inferior gemelli muscle. And what is this muscle here? This is the quadratus femoris, which is getting its origin from the femoral surface of the, femoral surface of the ischium. Femoral surface of the ischium. Right. So this is about the femoral surface of the ischium. Then coming to the posterior surface of the ischium. So still now I told you about what is the surface between the anterior border and the dorsal border is what is this one? The femoral surface of the ischium. And not this is that. Auntie about this, right? And then the surface, which is this surface here, this surface which is present, this surface is the posterior surface of the ischium. So it is having anterior border, and what is this border? This is the dorsal border and the posterior border, and this surface is the dorsal surface, femoral surface, and the pelvic surface. Right? You just remember that is not that important. And what is this surface? This is the pelvic surface. So the pelvic surface of the ischium will give origin to what? The obturator internus muscle. So here this is all about the, so what are the things important here? The ischial spine is important, the greater sciatic notch, the lesser sciatic notch, then the ischial tuberosity, the femoral surface, which is giving its origin to what? Origin to the quadratus femoris muscle, and this is all about the body of the ischium, and then coming to this, what is this one? Ischio, the ramus of the ischium. So the ramus of the ischium will join with the ramus of the pubis to form the ischiopubic rami. So you see here, what is this one? Ischiopubic rami. Where is this ischiopubic rami? So this is what? So again the same thing here. If you see this one, this is the obturator foramen. What is this foramen? Obturator foramen. And what is this one? This is, I already told you, what is this bone? This is the ischial tuberosity. And what is this one? This is the greater sciatic notch. If you see this diagram, greater sciatic notch, and this one is the lesser sciatic notch. I already told you the superior gemelli muscle, the inferior gemelli muscle, and here what is this one? The ischial tuberosity, getting its origin to the hamstring muscles, that is the semimembranosus, semitendinosus, then quadratus femoris, and then adductor magnus. Now what I am speaking about? I am speaking about the what is this one? The conjoined ischiopubic rami. Conjoined ischiopubic rami. Are you understanding? Are you understanding the class, or is it going above your head? Are you understanding? Please answer.
Sir.
Right. So I am just today, I am only speaking about ischium and pubis. Please try to understand, because all these muscles will be coming to you when you are studying your lower limb, here or anywhere. And also this hip bone is also important when you study the perineum and also the pelvic diaphragm. So I am going very slowly. Please try to understand. Right. What is this one? What is this called as? The ischiopubic rami. What is this ischiopubic rami? The ramus of the pubis and the ramus of the ischium will join. The inferior ramus of the pubis and the ramus of the ischium will join to form the ischiopubic rami. What is this called as? Ischiopubic rami, or conjoint ramus. Conjoint rami, right? So what are the muscles which are attached? From medial to lateral, the muscles attached to this is the obturator externus muscle. What is this muscle? Obturator externus. This obturator externus muscle, there are two muscles starting with obturator, from which is the muscle which is arising from the pelvic surface is called as the obturator internus muscle, and this muscle is what? Obturator externus muscle. This muscle is the obturator externus muscle. Right. And the next muscle is here you can see the adductor magnus, which is getting its origin from the ischial tuberosity, is coming to, and also it's also getting its origin from where? From the so-called the ischiopubic rami. And what is the other muscle here? This is the adductor brevis muscle. What is this muscle? Adductor brevis. So what is this one? Adductor magnus. And this muscle is the adductor brevis. And then what is this muscle here? This is the gracilis muscle. So you see here all these muscles: adductor magnus, the adductor brevis muscle, the adductor, then the gracilis muscle, and adductor longus muscles. All these muscles are the muscles of the adductor compartment or the muscles of the adductor compartment. I'll show you the diagram once again. If you see here, so see here, so in the thigh region, where this it is having an anterior compartment or the extensor compartment, the posterior compartment or the flexor compartment or the hamstring compartment, and then you have one more compartment, that is the adductor compartment, which is helping the femur for adduction, right, or the lower limb for the adduction, right? So what are the muscles in the adductor compartment? So the muscles in the adductor compartment are what is this one? The pectineus muscle, or no, right? No. This is what? This is the adductor brevis muscle. Adductor brevis muscle. Then the adductor brevis muscle, the adductor longus muscle, adductor longus muscle, and the green structure which you see here, which is getting its origin from the ischial tuberosity and also the ischiopubic rami, is the adductor magnus muscle, and the medial most muscle which you are seeing is the gracilis muscle. Gracilis muscle. All this. So the pectineus muscle is not there here. So all these muscles. What is this muscle? The adductor brevis means a smaller muscle. Then the adductor longus. Then the adductor, the gracilis muscle. What is this muscle? The gracilis muscle. And the muscle which is in the green color is the adductor magnus muscle. Right? All these muscles are either getting their origin from the ischiopubic rami or from the pubis. You see here the same thing which I am going to tell you. So here is same thing. What is this muscle? This is the adductor magnus muscle which you have seen in the adductor compartment. And what is this one? The adductor brevis muscle. And then what is this muscle? Is the adductor, the gracilis muscle, not the adductor muscle, the gracilis muscle. And here you can see this is the adductor longus muscle. All these muscles along with the pectineus, all these muscles are part of adductor compartment of the thigh. Right. So this is about what? This is about the ischiopubic rami and the ischium. So what are important? The ischial spine. What is this structure here? The ischial tuberosity and the ischiopubic rami, which is this ischiopubic rami. So this is all about the ischium. Then coming to the pubis. So where is this pubis? The antero-superior aspect of the hip bone. So what is this one? This is in the dorsal aspect, and what is this one? This is the antero-superior aspect, and then antero-inferior aspect. The antero-inferior aspect is forming the pubis. So the pubis has a superior rami, the body, and the inferior rami. So the parts of pubis are the superior rami, the body, and the inferior rami. And this ischiopubic ramus, you can see the ischium, and this ischiopubic ramus has an inner border and outer border. Not inner border. No. Right. So hello. Good morning. చెప్పండి చెప్పండి అన్న. లేదండి, ఏం చెప్పండి సార్. నేను పెట్టాను, అన్నీ పెట్టానండి. ప్రసన్న మేడం పెడుతున్నాను. ప్రసన్న మేడంకి అన్నీ పెట్టాను నేను. ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ. Right. What is this one? The superior ramus, the inferior ramus, and the body of pubis. And now this is this is the outer aspect. We already told you that the ischiopubic ramus of the outer aspect is giving origin to the obturator externus muscle, the adductor magnus muscle, and also adductor brevis muscle, and also the next one is the gracilis muscle, the inner aspect of the ischiopubic ramus. So when you come to the inner aspect of the ischiopubic ramus, what are the muscles which you come across? So when you come to the inner aspect, where is this one? So I should get a diagram there. Just wait for a minute. Yes. So coming to the inner aspect, what are the muscles which you find in the from the muscles which are arising from the ischiopubic rami? So from the ischiopubic rami, what are the things you see here? So what are the things you see here? From the ischiopubic rami of the inner aspect, you find the superficial transverse perineal muscles, the deep transverse perineal muscles, the sphincter urethrae muscles, and also from the inner aspect of the ischiopubic rami, you have the urogenital diaphragm and all these things. So, but I'm not going to go in detail of this. But whenever you are coming across the perineum, so in the perineum, you have the superficial perineal pouch and deep perineal pouch. Superficial perineal pouch and deep perineal pouch. So this within the superficial perineal pouch, you have the muscles. What are those muscles? Deep transverse perineal muscles, and also what you have the sphincter urethrae muscles, and then outside the superficial perineal muscles you have the crus of penis, all these things. So when you study the so-called the what is this one, the perineal membrane, and also about the superficial perineal pouch and the deep perineal pouch, please remember about the inner aspect of the ramus or ischiopubic ramus, inner aspect of the ischiopubic ramus. Other than that, I'm not going to go in detail of each and everything now, right? So then coming to the body of pubis. So when you come to the body of pubis, you see here, so when you come to the body of pubis, so what else you see here? In the body of pubis, you have what is this one? The it's very tough. So what is this one? This is the ischiopubic ramus, and here what is this one? The body of pubis. So the body of pubis has the pubic tubercle. What is this called as? Pubic tubercle, and also you have the pubic crest, which is not then seen here. The pubic tubercle and the pubic crest. Where is this pubic crest? If you see here, where is this bone? Not. Right. So here you can see this is the pubic tubercle, and this aspect is the pubic crest. Not here. Right. So in this diagram you can see what is this one? This is the body of pubis. This is the pubic tubercle and pubic crest. So this pubic tubercle gives attachment to the inguinal ligament. The pubic tubercle, which is present in the body of pubis, gives attachment to the inguinal ligament. And also this pubic tubercle, when you study the inguinal canal, you come across many structures, like what is this one? The lacunar ligament. and also other things you come across. So you just remember for time being the pubic tubercle gives attachment to the inguinal ligament, and what from where to where it is extending the inguinal ligament? From the anterior superior iliac spine, which you studied in the ilium, to the pubic tubercle. From the anterior superior iliac spine to the pubic tubercle, you find the attachment of the inguinal ligament. And then what else? What is this one? This is a pubic crest. What is this called as? The pubic crest. So in the pubis, in the body of where speaking about the body of pubis, in the body of pubis you have the pubic crest. So the pubic crest, when you find what are the structures related to the pubic crest? So the pubic crest gives attachment to the rectus abdominis muscle. Rectus abdominis muscle, and also the pubic crest gives attachment to what is this one? The pyramidalis muscle. The pyramidalis muscle, right? All these things, the pubic crest gives attachment to the rectus abdominis, the pyramidalis, and the anterior layer of rectus sheath. So where is this rectus abdominis muscle and pyramidalis muscle present? In the anterior abdominal wall. If you see here, if you see here, you can see a muscle here. What is this muscle? This muscle is the rectus abdominis muscle. So the rectus abdominis muscle gets its origin from the pubic crest, and along with that, in some other people, the pyramidalis muscle also is present. That also gets its origin from the pubic crest, right? And then what else you see here? The pectineal line. Coming to the superior ramus. Coming to the superior ramus, you have the pectineal line. So what is this one? The pubic tubercle, and from here, what is this line called as? The pectineal line. So you can see here the pectineal line, which is continuing with that of the arcuate line until the medial border of the ilium. So this line, this pectineal line and the arcuate line is the one which is differentiating between the false pelvis and the true pelvis. False pelvis and true pelvis. What is this line? The pectineal line. The pectineal line is continuing with the arcuate line and the iliopubic eminence and the medial border, medial line or medial border of the ilium. Right, so this is the pectineal line, and then this surface, the surface which is this one between the anterior border and the pectineal line is called as the pectineal surface. What is this surface called as? Pectineal surface. So this pectineal surface gives origin to a muscle called as pectineus, which is a muscle of the medial compartment. Which is the muscle of the medial compartment. If you see here, where is this pectineus muscle? I'll show you. So you can see from the pectineus muscle is getting its origin from where? From the pectineal surface, and this muscle is the pectineus muscle, right? Which is getting its origin from pectineal surface of the pubis, pectineal surface of the pubis. So pubis has a body of pubis, and this body of pubis and the superior rami and the inferior rami. So this inferior rami forms the ischiopubic rami, right? And the superior rami is a triangular in cross section, and it has a pectineal border, the obturator crest, and the inferior border, which I'm not going into the detail. And so, and this there is a pectineal surface. This pectineal surface gives origin to a muscle that is the pectineus muscle, right? Then what else? So this is all about the pubis. Then you can see what is this one here? This is the obturator. So the obturator foramen is covered by obturator membrane, and at the upper margin of the obturator foramen there is an obturator canal, and through this obturator canal, what is passing through the obturator nerve and vessels will be passing through the obturator canal. So you can see this is the obturator foramen, and this obturator foramen is covered by the obturator membrane. And then what else? Then from the outer aspect of the obturator foramen, it gives origin to obturator externus, and the inner aspect of the obturator membrane and the obturator margins of the obturator foramen gives in origin to the obturator internus. And then what is this one? The upper margin of the obturator foramen has an obturator canal, and through this obturator canal, the obturator vessels, obturator nerve and obturator vessels will be passing through it, right? So this is about the parts of the pubis and the muscles, important muscles which are arising from the, what is this one? The pubis. So what are the things you have to remember in pubis? The pubis has a body, the superior rami and inferior rami, and this inferior rami forms the what do you call it as conjoint ischiopubic rami, and the muscles which are extending from the what it is called as from the ischiopubic rami, that are the adductor compartment muscles. And then and the body has the pubic tubercle and pubic crest. The pubic tubercle gives attachment to the inguinal ligament, and also the pubic tubercle gives attachment to the lacunar ligament, and the pubic crest will be giving attachment to the rectus abdominis and pyramidalis muscle, and the pectineal surface gives attachment to the pectineus muscle. Then the obturator foramen is giving the external surface, and the internal surface of the obturator foramen gives origin to the obturator internus muscle and obturator externus muscle. And then there is a canal called as obturator canal, through which in the upper margin of the obturator foramen, through which the obturator nerve and vessels will pass through. Then coming to the acetabulum, you already know that the acetabulum is contributed by all the three parts, that is the ilium, the ischium and pubis. So the upper 2/5 is contributed by the ilium, the posterior inferior 2/5 is contributed by the ischium, and the anterior 1/5 is contributed by the ilium, right? And then you can see here within the acetabulum, you can see what is this one, the lunate fossa. What is this called as? The lunate surface. So this lunate surface will articulate with that of the articulating surface in the hip joint. Articulating surface, this lunate surface. And what is this called as? In below the lunate surface, you can see the fossa, acetabular fossa. What is this called as? The acetabular fossa. And then what else? This is called as the acetabular notch. What is this called as? Acetabular notch. So this acetabular notch is attached, what is on? The transverse acetabular ligament will bridge this acetabular notch. The transverse acetabular ligament will bridge this acetabular notch, and it forms into acetabular foramen. And through this below this transverse acetabular ligament, the blood vessels, that is the obturator artery and also medial circumflex femoral artery, will pass through this acetabular foramen and supply the hip joint. So coming to what I am speaking about, only about the acetabulum, which is upper 2/5 is contributed by the ilium, the posterior 2/5 is contributed by the ischium, the anterior 1/5 is contributed, anterior-inferior 1/5 is contributed by the pubis, and then there is a lunate fossa. Below that you have the acetabular fossa, right? And this lunate fossa, surface, the lunate surface is the part where it is articulating with the femur, and then below there is a notch called as acetabular notch, which is bridged by the transverse acetabular ligament and which is forming into acetabular foramen, and through this foramen what is passing through the blood vessel, that is the obturator artery and also the medial circumflex femoral artery. And then from the margins of the acetabular notch, not only the transverse acetabular ligament will be attached, there is also one more ligament which is called as ligamentum teres femoris. Ligamentum teres femoris. So this ligamentum teres femoris will be attached to the fovea centralis of the femur. So the two ligaments are there, transverse acetabular ligament and ligamentum teres femoris, right? So this is all about the acetabulum and the hip bone. I think it is bit a long bone, but anyway, then you are coming to the other aspects of the acetabulum. So what are the other aspects? You see here, if you see this part, the highest point of the iliac crest. So the highest point of the iliac crest will pass through which vertebra? If you draw an imaginary line joining the highest point of the iliac crest. So highest point of the iliac crest, where is it present? The highest point of the iliac crest will be present nearer to the between the ventral 2/3 and dorsal 1/3. And if you draw an imaginary line, that imaginary line will be passing between L3 and L4. So one point is what? Highest point of the iliac crest. The highest point of the iliac crest will be join. If you join the highest points of the iliac crest of the two hip bones, that imaginary line will be passing between the L3 and L4. Then what is this part? What is this one? This is a tubercle. Which tubercle? The, or else I can show you in this diagram. 1 minute. Right. So where is this one? This is the highest point of iliac crest, and if you join this highest points of the iliac crest, this is the, it pass through L3 and L4. And then the tubercles of iliac crest, the iliac tubercle. If you join these two lines, that is called as the transtubercular plane. What is it called as? Transtubercular plane. So this what is one? If you join this one, and then you have the posterior inferior iliac spine. Where is this posterior inferior iliac spine? So here is this one. So you can know this one, posterior superior iliac spine and posterior inferior iliac spine. So if you join the between the line, if an imaginary line joins the both posterior superior iliac spines, that will pass through the S2 vertebra between the sacrum S2 level, at the level of S2. So S2 level is the one where the arachnoid space, which is present between the meninges, will be the last point of this. There is the last point where the meninges, the arachnoid space ends, right? So 2 points are there. One is the transtubercular plane, and the second one is the highest point of the iliac crest, somewhere here, and the third one is the, what is this one? The posterior, if you join an imaginary line from the posterior superior iliac spine, right? So this is about the ilium, ischium and pubis. Thank you.